She flinched at her own name. She hadn't heard it in 3 years, and it landed like a stone. Don't, she said. How long? Don't. Her voice cracked. Please. He stepped inside and closed the door, and they stood in the small, quiet room while everything shifted around them. Tell me, he said gently. All of it. I'm not going anywhere. She pressed her back against the wall and took a breath that shook on the way in. The night I left it wasn't impulsive. I had planned it for months. There was a man my father was working with, someone in his inner circle. He had access to me, my schedule, my security detail, everything. My father knew something was wrong, and his response was to tighten the walls, not remove the threat. Lock me down tighter. Like I was an asset to be protected, not a person. Daniel was very still. I found out what the man had planned. A private arrangement. I was part of it. She looked at the floor. My father didn't stop it. He negotiated around it. When I confronted him, he told me it was complicated. Business. That he was handling it. She looked up. I stopped being his daughter that night. I became a problem he was managing. Vivienne. Sara, she said sharply. I'm Sara now. He told me you were dead, he said, very quietly. I know. I sat at your funeral. The silence that followed was heavy and airless. I'm sorry, she said. He used your grief, didn't he? Made it public. Made the whole story airtight. He was devastated, Daniel said, but there was a crack in the certainty now. Was he? She said. Not a question. He sat down on the crate across from her and said nothing for a long moment. How did you find me? She asked. She watched something move across his face, the beginning of an answer he didn't want to give. Daniel. I'm here because of a job, he said, the evenness of a man holding something down. Financial consulting. That's true. He paused. But the client is your father. The air left the room. He told me he'd had a tip. Someone who'd spotted a girl matching your description. He said he wanted someone he trusted to check quietly, without sending the whole security apparatus. He exhaled hard. He didn't tell me who I was looking for. He gave me a photograph. Said it was a missing person cold case. A family matter. He gave you a photograph of me. Yes. And you didn't recognize me until... You changed. Your hair, your face, you're different when you're surviving than when you're sheltered. He looked at her steadily. But you laughed the same way. Her chest felt like something was pressing down on it. He knew I was alive. And he sent you. Not to bring me home. The pieces assembling cold and quick. To locate me. To confirm I was here. So that he could come himself. Daniel's silence confirmed it. He used you, she said. He used both of us, Daniel said. And there was a quiet devastation in his voice she hadn't expected. She was crying now, she hadn't noticed until she felt it on her face. She didn't sob. She was past that, some years back. She just let the tears fall and stayed very still. He's coming, she said. He was already on his way when I put it together. I called him before I came back here. Told him I needed more time to confirm. She pushed off the wall. Then I need to go. Running again fixes nothing. He has resources you can't outrun indefinitely. You know that. So what? I should let him come and take me back? Put me back in that house. Her voice broke open. I built something here. It's small and it's quiet and it's mine. He doesn't get to take that. I know. Do you? She looked at him fiercely. Because 10 minutes ago you were the man who was about to hand me over. I haven't handed you over. His voice was steady and real. I'm in this room with you. I came here first. She searched his face for the lie. She had learned to look for lies. She didn't find one. What do you want? She asked. I want to know what you want, he said. And then I want to help you get it. Why? Because somewhere in the last 6 weeks you stopped being an assignment. He said it plainly, without performance. And because my best friend sent me here like a hunting dog and didn't tell me what I was hunting. I think that says something I can't pretend I didn't hear. The front door of the cafe opened. Through the small window, she saw the shadow of large men entering. And then her father. Richard Hargrove had aged. His hair was grayer, his posture carrying something it hadn't before. He looked around the cafe with the eyes of a man who always found what he was looking for. She straightened. She had run at 22. She was 25 now. Something had calcified in her over those 3 years, not hardness. Something more durable. Resolve. She pushed the door open and walked out. Her father turned. For a moment, the whole room stopped. Vivienne, he said, and his voice fractured in a way she had not prepared for. Richard, she said. He flinched. You're alive. Like a prayer and an accusation at once. I've been alive the whole time. You had a death certificate made anyway. To protect you. From what? Her voice was quiet and cutting. From the arrangement you made? Yes. I know what it was. I know what you agreed to and who you agreed to it with. And I know you let me believe there was no other option. Daniel appeared behind her and positioned himself beside her without a word. Her father's eyes moved to him. Something darkened. I asked you to locate her. You did, Daniel said. You didn't ask me to deliver her. She is my daughter. She is a woman standing right in front of you. And she gets to decide what happens next. The silence in the room was enormous. She felt the weight of the choice settle on her, the wealth, the name, the world she'd been born into. Her father's face held something real. Whatever else he was, whatever he had done, the grief had been partly genuine. That made it worse. It would have been simpler if he felt nothing. But she felt the weight of 3 years of freedom too. 3 years of being Sara, of building something from nothing, of learning who she was without anyone deciding it for her. I'm not going back with you tonight, she said. Not like this. If you want a relationship with me, it will be on terms we both agree to. Openly. Honestly. I will not be managed. I am your daughter, or I am nothing to you, and you have to decide which one is true. And the arrangement. You will fix it completely. I don't care what it costs you. He closed his eyes. It's already done. 2 years ago. When I understood what I had let happen, he stopped. You let me disappear, she said softly. You could have found me and told me it was safe. You chose not to. I was ashamed, he said, and afraid you wouldn't come back. The honesty of it hit her somewhere unexpected. She turned to Daniel. His face held the same quiet steadiness, but something else now. Something open and waiting. He was not pushing her. He was simply there. You came to find me, she said. I did, he said, but I'm not sure I can go back to what I was before I did. She understood that. She felt it herself. She picked up her apron from the counter, folded it neatly, and set it down. We'll talk, she told her father. Not today. I'll contact you. She looked at Daniel. Walk with me. Outside, the rain had stopped. The street was wet and reflected everything: the streetlights, the windows, the sky. She stood on the pavement and breathed in cold air that smelled like wet stone and possibility. Daniel stepped out beside her. Neither of them spoke for a while. Then she said, I still don't know what I'm doing. Nobody does, he said. They're just honest about it, or they're not. She looked down the road. Long and open and going somewhere. I need you to know whatever this is between us, it started before I knew who you were to him. It was real before it was complicated. I know, he said. They walked. If you made it this far, you already know how this story works. It gets under your skin and stays there. Hit subscribe so you never miss the next one. Drop a comment. Should she have gone back with her father, or did she make the right call? And like the video before you go. It takes 2 seconds, and it means more than you know. See you in the next story.